And hello, everybody. Welcome to my secret werewolf game that's totally not a secret that's published on a public hangout. But anyway, um, we are joined in Duluth, Minnesota. Joined in the nice, comforted area of the Burbs. The Burbs are, wow, they've been here, they've been expanded outward now for a while since the Duluth, the Sept of the Hearts Fire's origin. This area has been one of contention, one of trouble, but yet one of peace at the same time. So it became a very interesting point for many when they realized the sheer vastness of one particular pack's expansion out from this area. All culminated to this house here on 45th North Street. And as Charlotte Sullivan and Johanna Elitius pull up to those security gates, it is an eerie sight, really. Even Charlotte's been here before. It's still eerie. Because for Johanna, our newcomer, you always get the feeling that something not like quite like Wisconsin, not quite like anything. It's you don't see anything. But you do always feel that there is an eye always on you. And not you won't hear this ominous whispering, you won't hear anything, no. You just get the distinct impression that at the right moment, whatever this elusive pack, well, they'll come out of the rafters, they'll come out of the shadows, but they'll always be watching. And they all always are in the neighborhood. So as you open, the gates open and you knock on the little pearly white door, you have a moment to yourselves before you can hear the ceremonies like ding dong dong of the doorbell. So what do you guys talk about before the door is swung open?
Weather's nice out today.
Yeah. That is. I really flick a glance out just because, let's face it, it's finally starting to think about getting warm. Could just wear a normal coat today, not 3 layers, not the giant one that looks like a down comforter that you're walking around with like a cocoon. Just normal coat. Almost unheard of, really. And, yeah, truth be told, flicks her a smile. Good?
I mean, I'm fine. You look good.
He had a smile. That surprisingly earnest little smile. Somehow Charlotte has not learned to hate the scar twisting around her cheek and down her chin. Not yet, anyways. So, yeah, it's an earnest smile. Thanks. I didn't even know you had a dress. Teasing smile there.
Come on. It was inevitable that I'd have to go to a formal event sooner or later.
Fair.
This is also the only dress I own.
Yeah, she'll indulge in a bit of a snicker. Shifting around, the offerings in hand. I imagine Yolana's got the bottle of wine, and, Shr's got the classic, you never bring along something that can overshadow, like, the host's entree or dessert, but some sort of nice little side dish to go along with it.
Well, the door flings open. Not that it doesn't fling open dramatically,
God.
It opens, but oof. And I will say it's this woman that answers the door, and she looks considerably better. Well, that you know of, and for you, she looks almost the same, but got this patented, trademark, ding off the floor, the floss teeth. For Johanna, she is about 5'7", perfect blonde hair, perfect dress, perfect. That is the word to describe her as perfect to a T. Everything is to a T.
Yolana looks up at her like she looks up at literally everyone around her. Hello.
Well, how did do. Oh, shut up. Reaches over with the like thumb and like turns the cheek. Like, oh my lord, look at that.
Oh yeah, she very compliantly, like she does the head bob with, the very polite little nod and all that as the door opens, and yeah, compliantly enough, lets her tip the chin around.
Does a southern like, the southern lady like gloved hand over mouth type thing.
So scandalous.
I had heard that you had received a war wound, but my God, you are, you poor thing. Although it does suit whatever you've been doing with this new contour on your face. She does.
Yeah, she can't help but be charmed. That is, Jesus, that was a good segue. She can't even be mad at that. Thank you kindly.
She gives the bing, smile. Like you'd swear it makes that noise. She does it as well. And you get led in. Steps aside, and they'll walk in, and you will see the first person you're going to see in this ensemble is the man, the myth. Hang on now, let me just get the right folder. And the myth, the legend that is Marcel. Sitting there at the table, kind of awkward. There is a woman beside him, very kind of rockabilly. But she seems to be, chatting and taking a sip of a drink. Yes, Anna, you have to look up at him even when he sits because, my God, he is so big. Like even you feel like he is the side of your shoulder at this point. Even sitting, he'll just look over, does the slow, like you could swear you hear the ice breaking as he turns, and we'll just give the slow bobble to both of you. Just a hello.
Yeah, he gets a warm smile too. She's still very fond of Marcel.
Hello.
And sitting there with the fucking olive and the martini, his Wildfire with his crazy braids, and he's sitting there, leaning back. He's a bit not as formally dressed as the others, but then again, Wildfire never really gives a shit. Takes a bite of the olive and the martini, and he'll just give the nod.
Yeah, it's a whole classic thing. Like you walk in and it's like, oh, Marcel, Wildfire, nods. Everybody gets, polite greeting.
Runs hasn't arrived yet, but the man of the hour comes down the stairs in the suit. Oh, so slick. And Charlotte. And Johanna. Yes, that's the one. Remember the name. Is he walking over, arms spread like, hey, you people. Hey, look at that. Didn't even know you were here type thing.
The most amazing playoff of epic timing I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, he will get enthusiastically greeted as well, as one does greet their host and hostess.
Comes over and kisses Charlotte's hand and goes, my God, Charlotte, look at that. Distinctive. Very ferocious, in fact. They had to tell me it was ferocious. I did not realize it was so. Does the fanning like, oh.
Very much is.
Even my Get brothers are looking over at you. If you were a kinfolk, I swear Marcel would have you over the table right here and now. Give a little sly wink.
There's just that moment of like, oh, because for some reason, that's just, oh, you just said that with the lady friend right next to them. Oh, for one, Charlotte was not ready for this ass. She does not look at Marcel. That would make this weirder.
Looks over and Carves looks back at Marcel. Oh, don't give me that look, Marcel. Looks back at you guys. And Miss Elite, slides Charlotte out of the way. Like, it's not rude. It's like, oh, and you go here, with the gentle hand. And slides over to tiny little hobbit Johanna. He's all slick and slender, and he is literally like watching a serpent at work. Miss Elitius. I dare say I do not recognize you under all the veneer and makeup and lack of raw meat smell that you usually have.
I gotta find my composure. I am made sure to come in appropriate attire, Raya.
Oh, and Miss Elitis, as he kisses her hand, you have delivered tenfold. I would say you even rile your Fiori cousin for beauty, and that is no mean feat.
You ever see someone like get buttered up in spite of themselves? Like they came here ready to be like, all right, he's a smooth customer. You got to be ready for this. But then he just starts laying it on. It's like, oh,
Oh, thanks.
thanks. It's nice of you to say, Mr. Raya. She did not fucking say that.
Oh, I'd fucking die. Oh.
I'm done.
I don't know, man.
I'm done. I'm tapping out.
Somewhere near he just screams. But yeah, he'll just, put her beside Johanna, right at the end of the table. So she's beside Michelle, The door flies open dramatically as then it runs in going, sorry, I know I'm late. And I brought the wine, don't worry. It just speeds by everybody giving hello. Merely walks into the door.
Jesus. Yep, I was just kind of like, whoa.
There is a woman coming with him as well. She's in again similar rockabilly style, but hers is a lot more like efficient. Like she's out for business, and she'll give the finger waves at the various Valerian members. She quickly hurries after runs, and he's like, "Oh, yes, I will get the wine." And everyone starts to sit down and relax. Runs obviously is helping. Michelle has not come out yet, so Karis will turn towards Charlotte and Johanna. So, my dears, takes a sip of the wine glass he has, like, how have you been? I had heard there was some serious conflict, and of course, our noble Charlotte here took a war wound, but seeing you both all alive and intact does warm this old Southern Belle's heart. How was it? Do tell, after all, you do have a galliard at your every lick of your tongue. He does a little wink as well.
I'm being scandalized out of character so hard it's hard to talk. Jesus, he's pouring it on thick today, man.
You're in his house. What do you expect?
I'm ready.
I'm dead.
It was quite the fight. That place was infested in a whole new kind of way.
Descriptive as always, Charlotte, but come on, my dear, give me the detail. He leans forward as if, like,
Oh, God. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the details aren't especially, dinner table worthy.
Oh, well, you don't have to go into the nitty gritty, but Charlotte, give me a tale at least, jeez. And he leans back like, oh.
Charlotte forever getting fucking sassed by Galliards for not being a storyteller.
Come on, girl. I've heard you talking up a storm when you're not around. Is it the dress? I think it's the dress. Looks over at Marcel. Marcel just keeps looking like, why the fuck are you looking at me, Dad?
Oh, God bless Marcel. So the case of she kind of shakes her head because Jesus, even she has encountered carves at full tilt, or at least half tilt, once already. She should have been braced for this, but she is not. It was the matter of an asylum being used as a not a nest, but a base for operations, and full to the brim with Fomori. Or I assume they're Fomori. old patients, doctors, various people that I'm sure disappeared over the years. And an army of gnarled, less intelligent Fomori of a sort.
Intelligent for more. Looks over at Wildfire, and Wildfire nods, like taking the bite of the olive, like, Even stops, like, that was nice.
At least one was quite intelligent, far from sane, but clearly at some point a doctor.
We had been seeing a lot of surgical marks off some of the victims we'd been finding. It would explain a couple of things.
I did have a personal view of the operating room, and I wouldn't be especially surprised.
I trust the relevant information has gone to the relevant people, I assume.
Of course.
Just gives a smile as he sips the martini, the slow sip of like, yes, I'm sure it has. You know what I mean?
I've filed my reports.
The woman beside Marcel kind of clings to him and kind of goes, ugh. You know what I mean? It's that type of like, ugh. He'll
Yeah.
lean over. It is quite common to see among the worm. You know, kind of whispering to her like, this is a daily thing. You know, it's not the You hear him kind of like,
I promise this is normal.
yeah. And then Bruns will eventually filter in with this girl who introduces herself as Stacy. And she shakes hands and Ron sits down. Sorry, puts the glasses down, pours the wine for everybody, looks at you two, does the little sugar, like, heh.
Oh, God. Yeah, she will totally take wine. Fuck
That
it.
is some nice fucking wine.
Jesus.
Some really nice fucking wine. Like, you take a sip and you're like, this is richer than me wine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is worth more than my kidneys are on the black market. But yes, something of a delicate process. We were outnumbered going in. I managed to pull some trickery. The others managed to pull some very, very good combat. And we were able to regroup, to get back to a bottleneck, and to handle it.
It was a good scar. The other get nods like, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
This is over with a smile and a nod. Thank you.
You're not comfortable wearing it yet, however.
Hmm?
You are not comfortable wearing it yet.
She takes that for a second and processes it thoughtfully and finally offers a reasonably open shrug. It's Marcel after all.
Wildfire nods. Oh yeah, no, you're not comfortable yet. What comes the time?
More comfortable than I thought I'd be.
Looks over and nudges Marcel. She's gonna start talking to herself in the mirror soon. Marcel nods like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Runs nods too. Yes, you will.
She's just glancing between them like, oh, is that a standard due process there?
Carzine says, well, my dear, you've got a scar that says you can talk to yourself in the mirror. Go on. Are you talking to me?
Fair enough.
And Yolana, I heard you are quite the devil with the knife.
When it's available to me, Raya.
Oh, all ferocious. There's a little hand like, you swear he just did the rar, but it was so fastly done, you're not even sure.
Just that blink, like, did I just see what I...
Charlotte will throw Yolana under the bus just a tad by kind of nodding thoughtfully, being like, the bat was pretty effective.
You used a bat?
I, used a bat. I fixed razor wire with some screws and washers.
Really?
I was worried that barbed wire would make it stick at a inopportune time. The razors just slipped better.
They have a tendency to do that,
Yolanda nods.
especially when you have to compound the flesh outwards in a ripping motion. It does have a tendency to get caught.
It wasn't a thing I could afford. When I can find more wire and bats, I will experiment.
That's why you had a blade. Clean.
Yes. The knife has been good to me, but I may have to... Maybe not a sword, but something.
This gives her a nod of, oh, I see. Just a nod. Swords are boring. Everyone uses a sword. Besides, your enemies aren't afraid of a sword anymore. They're expecting it.
Yeah.
If you pull a knife, you wonder, well, what the hell are they going to do with the knife? You end up carving one right into the left eye socket of the retina and twisting. Well, then they'll know you mean business.
Yeah.
Especially if that knife is serrated. It gets right in the little optic nerve and you just twist. Takes a sip of the martini looking at you.
Doesn't it catch on the bone, though?
Oh, that's the entirety of the fun bit.
Huh.
That's why you have the knife that's specifically good for cutting into the bone. So you twist.
Okay.
Marcel leaned over. Wildfire, no talk of that at the table. Oh, yes.
Meanwhile, like, Yolana's captivated.
Yeah, Wildfire's like, sorry, Michelle. Michelle comes out. What have I told you? What have I told you? She just does a little, like, batting. As you can see, that's probably the only woman who could ever bat Wildfire like that, essentially. Oh, yes, Marcel and fucking runs his girlfriend look horrified. That's why Michelle just fucking bats him. Lane, what have I told you about talking about your fandangling methods at the table? Not to do it. I apologize. And Carves like leans back smirking like my get Philodoxus is getting intimidated by my wife. You know what I mean? That type of lean back.
Yep, there is so much of that. That's none of my business. Fucking wine sipping going on right now. Like I see nothing.
So Michelle lays out the starter. It's a mixture of different things. She heard you were Greek, so Greek is what you're having. And my God, that is you're pretty impressed. That's actually some decent Greek, like early, like fish and crab, salad type things. You know, it is very very high citrus seafood as well, mixed with like peaches and shit, apricots. There's a bit of blueberries there too. It's very rich, like very rich, and the food definitely is fresh. Probably off. This bitch could probably afford anything really when you think about it.
When you think about it.
She had someone catch that thing and bring it here. Goddamn.
But like, no, it's like for Johanna, it's like, oh, this is
So fancy right
so
now.
fancy.
So fancy.
And the people eating, you know, and Carves then will lean over to Johanna because he can see you first. So, my dear, you said you were from California, yes?
Yes, right.
Interesting place, old California. I heard there was hundreds of children of Guy over there.
I have seen them from time to time, but it was mostly just Furies in my sept.
Oh, I heard you were quite the Viking. You wink, you play playfully, nudging her, like, See what I did there for the get?
We certainly spent a great deal of time on the sea, yes.
I imagine you give old, what was her name? Neri. I imagine you give Neri a run for her money.
I'd been wanting to see if maybe me and her could get our hands on a boat to see how the lake feels.
Oh, Well, healthy competition. I do like that among y'all, especially the younger one. Just gives her the handle pat, like, good for you. You know what I mean? And as he seems quite pleasant. And then as fucking Charlotte is by Marcel, you'll lean over. Kind of just takes a slow sip of the meat, like he's just mainly eating the fucking crab. And across from you on the other side is this gentleman who's picking and eating, and oh my god, so much fucking salad. You know what I mean?
Tell me she had like a special one set aside for him that didn't have
she
all the
did.
meats in it. Oh,
She did.
She's a treasure.
Gives him even the hair ruffle as well.
God damn it, she's so wholesome, I want to die. But yeah. Admittedly, there's just generic over the fucking dinner conversation. Charlotte will make a point of trying everything that's offered just because that's how you do. And you compliment all of it, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at some point, like during one of those pauses where, people are pausing to like sip drinks and whatnot, we'll glance over to Marcel. Just ask, because why not? So how long does it take to be comfortable wearing a scar?
Depends on the scar.
Let's just say hypothetically it was one on your face. Grinning.
Depends on how you feel about it. Depends on how you earned it. If you earned it in battle, it will take approximately 3 weeks.
It's just kind of a startled blink, like, holy shit, he actually had like an approximate time.
Week 1 is accepting, adjusting. Week 2 is testing. And week 3 is accepting and deciding.
Yeah, the eyebrows kind of lift up like, well, holy shit. Well, I guess that's what, 2 weeks to go?
Nod.
I didn't realize there was such a science to it.
It is not more a science, it is more a psyche.
You know what? She's not going to be like, it's a metaphor. She's not going to do that. She's just going to just nod. He right. Fair enough.
But you are among a sept of a Fenrir, so I find that you will have an easier time adjusting than you would in any other sept. And you are marrying a Fenrir. It will be much easier. Takes like a bite of the meat.
Yeah, there's like the thoughtful, like, I'm just going to eat something so I don't comment on that. Because, yep. The approval.
I mean, it's not wrong, as he takes the bite.
It's definitely not wrong. She knows darn well, very intimately, that he's not wrong.
You must get a new deed name. Your new old one does not suit the scar on your face.
Suppose it doesn't.
It does not. You look too fearsome to be a web of peace.
Solid point.
Gives a nod. Yeah, like out the corner of her eye shot, you see like she's clearly a glasswalker, by at his arm, giving him the squeeze of, oh, look at you, compliment. You know what I mean? Seems oddly proud of him for like indulgently. Do you know what I mean? It's that type of thing.
She's seeing positive reinforcement that she dramatically approves of. Sorry, roommate was being super loud, so I muted for a second. But yeah. And to be fair, I mean, she'll interact as much with the girls as she does with the others, unless they're like pointedly avoiding conversation. She's not.
They chit chat. You're a glasswalker. They chit chat to you about a few things. It's that type of thing. You learn that Stacy does a lot of office work. You know, she works for cars and all that. You learn that Miranda, Marcel's girlfriend, does a lot of work in terms of like funding. She helps Michelle with her charities. One of the accountants, essentially.
Nice.
So yeah, no, they've known the boys for a long time. You know, especially Stacy.
Yeah. Well, there will be chatter. There will. I mean, especially in regards to the whole. Oh, well, you're doing another deed name. It's just kind of the off comment of. I suppose it's just a matter of where it is and where it comes from.
You should get a getter Fiona to give it to you. They will give you the proper one. Silverfang will make it too part of their own agenda. Shadow Lord will use it to undercut you. The Last Walker will not understand.
Again, the eyebrows kind of thoughtfully go up. That little ping of like, oh, you said the thing. She isn't disagreeing because let's face it, she is still kind of amazed that she's not more upset about the way her face looks. So I'm not gonna lie, she'll probably steal a glance over to see if Carves has a reaction to it at all. Probably not, but worth looking.
Carves has
He's being showy.
Carves has the look of taking a sip, like raising the glass, like, buddy, I'll hook you up. You know what I mean? Does eyebrow waggle. Want to name girl? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll pull a smile out of her. That's Jesus Christ, Carves.
So when Michelle's like is running around like this woman is a machine. Even for stabbing Max Stabbington over there in high heels, this woman moves as if she's walking to her battleground. You know what I mean? This is her battleground, and she moves. She sits down eventually, and she'll have to. Whew. So Johanna, do tell. What are you? I understand you're a Faldox, like gestures over at Wildfire. What do you do exactly aside from judging over others and making sure that our fine traditions are upheld?
Well, I fight and I keep an eye on my peers to make sure everyone toes the line.
Just a nod. A very she smiles at Car, so Car just takes a sip of his wine. A very correct but guarded answer. I like that. She winks. You have a fine, vast array of talents, as my husband would say.
I see. It's God damn it, Katie. It can be more complicated than I make it sound, but it's something that is necessary.
Oh, I imagine it is. For the low kinfolk like myself, I imagine it's all sorts of complicated. She gives a smile, like the tilt of the head smile. But then again, you have the duty of being one and the privilege of being one. So, in a way, you are the more lucky one than I
am. Not necessarily. For every one of us, there are 9 kinfolk. Realistically speaking, people like you make up the bulk of the nation. Without everything that you do, including managing people, we would not survive the winter.
Oh, well, did you hear that, Samuel? Like, takes his hand. I'm just as important as you are. He gives a smile. My dear, you are the most important person in this whole room. And she, like, you can see her. She does the fucking fanning thing that you see. All these, like, it's like Gomez and Morticia style shit, essentially. Like, oh! Well, I thank you, Lady Elidius. That was a mighty fine compliment. And they say that you black furries don't have a southern charm. Well, I will tell Artemi herself that she is quite mistaken.
Yolan's looking at her like,
You know, at this point, like having like gotten to see Michelle be Michelle, there's an internal certitude here that if anybody could do that to our Timmy, it'd probably be this woman.
She gives that, you swear you hear the ding, she gives a smile, you swear. Then Ron's will lean over. So, I hear Johanna. Yeah, I said that right. Yes, I did. Just nods to himself like I fucking got it right. How did you find, I hear that you took an experience more akin to my auspice. I heard you managed quite well, actually.
I did what I could with the knowledge I had.
Sometimes that's all you have.
Yes.
If you ever need, smiling, if you ever need guidance on what to do, I could help you in certain aspects. It is always good to make sure that the judges are well equipped in certain elements of spirituality. Not, of course, everything, otherwise, well, I would be out of work. Gives her a smile as he's eating.
I'm honored, thank you.
But I hear you were using a gun quite well. What was it, Remington?
I want to say so. It was on loan on very short notice.
You should use something else. They have a tendency to jam.
Oh, I see.
You need to use something that, well, also gives a good wide berth of crowd control, but also packs the impact that you need, because a shotgun works in two ways. One, it sends a message through, well, the abdomen of a gaping hole, but also conveys a certain level of intimidation. People know what's coming from a shotgun. So you need something that does not jam at the inappropriate moment, or B, does not look so heavy that you can barely handle the recoil.
I always figured if it came down to it, I'd just have to get strong enough to wield it.
Well, yes and no, but there are certain things you can do to mitigate that. You just need to be smart about what you're getting.
She nods because she is speaking to someone who obviously knows more about this than she does.
Or if you're into a more cunning approach, a rifle does do the damage, especially if you aim right for the point. You should study the human anatomy when you're working with gunmanship. You'll find the most interesting things of which you can hit.
Charlotte is half involuntarily nodding along at this point because, yeah, you're right. And it's pretty goddamn satisfying.
Yolana's in the same trance that like Wildfire put on her, but from an entirely different angle. Like, he's talking to me about murder.
If you're using a knife, human anatomy is almost vital. One false cut will not do the same efficient job as you're trying to do with an axe. But one cut in the right way, the enemy will be dead within 0.7 seconds compared to that time they will require to bleed out from an axe.
You are right. I risk too much coming from the back. The surprise is good, but
Oh no, the back is perfect. It is where you're aiming. Taps the side of his head. The upper lumbar. Push short through the base of the skull and twist.
I have to admit, when I fought the daughter, I nearly... I hate to say it, but I nearly lost my blade in her collarbone.
Collarbone is a tricky apparatus of flesh and tendons. You just see Michelle going, Rons, what did... He just lifts his hands like that. I am so sorry, Lohana Dallin. They have a tendency to go on about war topics in front of us ladies and then expect us not to react about it. Charlotte, are you okay?
Charlotte, I'm not gonna lie. Charlotte glances over with that that split second of like, what? And then, just takes the mock serious expression as she goes on. She thinks, I think I'll be able to sleep at night.
Oh, good. I was awful worried. You did look awful pale. Ron,
Charlotte becomes incredibly concerned about her fucking foundation.
Ron's just like, oh, all right, I will keep my obviously murder boner back. Looks down eating.
I'll just tuck this back under the table.
Yolanda just kind of like looks over to Charlotte. I could see you for like a second when I was up there. You looked more surprised than she did.
And that's because I could see you coming. She quirks a grin.
Honestly, I didn't think I could jump that high, but I got up there.
She gives her a little pat on the shoulder. I have found that you are quite a bit more capable in the spur of the moment when you think one of us is in serious trouble than I see you any other time.
So Michelle will get up. The other two, Stacy and Miranda, get up and help. They help. You get the impression the kinfolk are doing this. She heads into the kitchen, and the entourage follow. Who's the fucking queen in this fucking house.
Yeah, we do.
So you're left with the boys. Kara's will be the first one to speak and leans over. So Charlotte, my darling.
Yep, the eyes flit over. Face corrects.
Why isn't your beta here? Okay. We are very eager to meet the bearded man. We had heard a lot about him. Of course, we're eager to meet you, Johanna, as well. But we're just curious, why didn't you bring your loud-ass Fiona that I heard so much about? After all, he did tell a wonderful couple of tales.
Oh, yeah.
I heard his wife is quite the buxom young lady.
She is a very lively thing. Yes.
Smirking.
And I'm assuming that they both got the appropriate invitations since they'd both been told
where
they would get them.
Oh, you got them from the fancy one from Michelle.
Ooh. And she just kind of spreads her hands helplessly.
Wanted me all to yourself, did you? Gives a wink.
Oh, naturally.
Oh, I know, darling. I am quite fabulous. As he looks off as he takes a sip of the wine, like, oh!
I'm trying to think of the word. It's not intrude. I didn't want to, God damn it. I didn't want to overstep. There were 2 invitations, so 2 of us came. If I'd only known, I would absolutely have
Oh, 100%. Oh, no, Charlotte, you never seem to overstep anything, don't you worry. Giving her that little fiendish wink. Besides, if Fiona usually get very loud, he probably would have got drunk off the wine. Takes a sip of the thing as all the get-go, hey! You can see the 2 get going, hey, Fiona Shade.
Yep, I'm just gonna totally not respond to that. Just kind of give the light shrug.
So are you saying anything, asking anything before the entourage return?
You know what? She'll say, McDuncan is very good about not pickling himself at inopportune moments. At least.
At least there's that. Yes, dinner. I'll put it this way. You've seen venison. You've seen really fucking rich venison. You, for Miss Elitius over there hunts deer in the regular, this is some fine cut venison. You can see the juices. You can see it. She has cooked. You can tell she has because the way she looks at it. You can tell the difference between someone who has cooked something to perfection and someone who has just arranged it. No, Michelle put all the effort into this. And there is, various bits of like tofu. There's various bits of potatoes, roast potatoes, turnip. There's stuffing. It is to die for. I'll put it like that. The venison is rich, really rich meat, and the red wine that she brings with it. Oh,
Oh yeah, even while she's going about and getting it all just arranged perfectly on the table. I don't know if she's the type of person to actually set out the plates and all that, but
she sets out the plates.
As she's doing all that, yeah, there will be the inevitable compliment of Michelle. That looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, what, this old little thing? I tell you, the meat is tough, but once you get a little bit of it, she nudges. You get a little bit of aggression with it. Well, it's just like anything.
Oh God!
She gives a wink over her calves. He just does a little sip of the wine, like, "Oh, you know what I mean?"
I'm about 50% more into you right now. Is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Even Charlotte's just like, "Oh Jesus, I wasn't ready."
Literally, Charlotte can feel the sexual tension of the two of them from across the table, essentially.
But the static's just arcing over her fucking head. She's just like, Jesus.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you're well versed with that, Charlotte, dear. Gives us that little smile.
There's that little polite nod, sipping wine. Can't comment. Jeez,
Now, would you like the gestures, the breast or the leg, or would you like to get in for the deep meat? What kind of girl are you, Charlotte?
Jesus!
Gives a
Not
smile.
gonna lie, Charlotte's kind of prepped for carves generally. He still catches her, but at least she kind of knows to expect it from him. In Michelle's case, there is that moment of just oh, you can see her moving around on the the social engagement chart of this is fucking dangerous. And I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this that doesn't come off even worse than what's already happening. Well, I'm happy to take the chef's recommendation.
You hear that, Carl? She's as good as you are. No, I shouldn't say Carl. You hear that, Samuel? She's as good as you are when answering my questions. And he just leans back. Oh, is she? Just gives a smirk. Oh, well, that was a wise answer, Charlotte Sullivan, but as the hostess, I insist. After all, how am I supposed to know about what you like? But this is your first time here. It would be rude of me to assume of you. After all, you are the guru. I am just a kinfolk, and I don't want to. She leans in. I don't want to, You look so beautiful and all that. I don't want to upset you about you making such assumptions of you as a lady. She gets that little smile again.
I mean, at the term "just a kinfolk," Charlotte, has that. She puts on the same kind of the little scandalized look. She's not on their level, no. But that little oh, just a kinfolk. She oh, my heart. But she takes that and nods and takes a very thoughtful expression for a moment and gives that just long enough a pause for it to be clearly I have thought about this, but I'm not wasting everyone's fucking time. She goes, oh, well then I suppose the flank.
Oh, I see. She gives a little wink to Carves, even Marcel. Just a small little. Do you know what I mean?
She's trying so hard not to laugh.
Flies over poor Runs' head as Stacy tries not to laugh. You know what I mean? And Wildfire just leans back. Oh, I knew you were a flanking girl.
Yeah, she is trying to keep her fucking composure because this is amazing. What the shit is even happening right
Oh,
now?
he serves you the meat and looks over. Johanna, darling, what would you like? What type of girl are you, Johanna? Points at the meat.
Man, as I've been desperately trying to Google like butchery terms.
It's all about the comedy right now. Don't get too serious.
All right.
Even Charlotte looks over like, oh yeah, what kind of girl are you?
Okay, Google, I'll leave you alone. Sorry, Torna. Okay, I'm back. No, I'm not. Okay. The thigh would be wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, the thigh. She like carves it out. Gives you this little smile. She leans down, pops it very. She leans in, pops it down very nicely, and then we'll look over. Interesting bit, the thigh. After all, they say it's got the most wear and tear about it. Like a finely tuned axe in a forest, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Smirking. She walks over to Cars, gives him the breast. Walks over to Marcel, gives him the fucking other thigh. Runs, gets the fucking leg. No, Runs doesn't get the leg. Runs gets tofu. And the tofu leg, fucking Wildfire gets one of the big juicy legs. There you go, Wildfire. I know you like taking up the back as always. Just pats his shoulder. He lets out the smirk going. It's often the juiciest area. Yeah, no, you took it. You guys took in. And you try and converse with the meat mountains or the awkward, yeah.
I mean, I feel like they got to keep this line of puns rolling.
This is very fresh. I'd have been caught today.
Shell looks over. Oh, no, not today. It was probably yesterday. I just know my daddy did teach me how to make sure it was skinned the right way after all. I did learn it. What was that show you showed me, Samuel? I can't remember, my dear, but it was something you thoroughly enjoyed. She'll look back over. Basically, I got a few cookbooks and I made sure that it was skinned the right way. I do have a nice little connection. Stacy hooked me up with them and make sure I get my produce the right way. After all, you have to do things yourself. Otherwise, what's the point? If you don't apply it yourself, then why are you bothering? I made sure I had some assistance and all that, make sure I didn't get blood all over my beautiful face, but I sometimes get all nitty and gritty. After all, you gotta live on a get set.
Whew! Just bumps her higher up the fucking social faux chart. Higher and higher. Jesus Christ, she's terrifying. Neck and neck with Carves now.
Carves leans over and kisses her hand. Looks over at Charlotte leans over. As they're chatting, and my wife is a Southern girl. Grew up in the area where you had to learn how to skin things.
I'm impressed. It's not a skill set I was ever exposed to when I was younger.
Oh, I know, my dear. It's in your hands.
Is it?
Sometimes your hands, when you're skinning the thing, get all a bit coarse. That's why she moisturizes every day.
Just that thoughtful nod, like, okay, that, you know what, that fucking checks out.
Terrible stuff, moisturizer. Always just gets everywhere. He'll lean over. So, Charlotte, when all this faux pawing and peacocking is done, why don't you join me for a drink out in the veranda? I'm sure we'll have some business to discuss that your young packmate shouldn't be privy to. Both vocally and gives us such a smile like, I see you. I see you. You know, just so playful.
I'd be more than happy.
Oh, darling, that is wonderful. Michelle, you should hear the joke that Charlotte is telling me over here. Michelle will look over.
Charlotte just looks expectantly at Cars because he started this. Nope. You're not throwing me under the bus.
Leans over. She was telling me about that one and what's that girl's name? She's like, which one? Johanna, do you know the girl?
I have no idea which girl you would be referring to, right?
No, I bet you don't. He gives a little bit of a wink. What's the girl with the furry hair? The one that bobs every 5 minutes. Looks like she's about to think. And then Michelle clicks. Cora! Do you know what I mean? She was telling me a very funny joke about Miss Cora and her bouncing house.
Charlotte's got the nasty case of, like, I'm not gonna make it too blatant, but I fucking see you.
Meanwhile, all the fucking eyes, ironically, the eyes, like they all there, they all turn and look at you.
For the love
Even Michelle look all like, oh, you told a joke. You know what I mean? Cars just leans back with that smirk on his face, like, What? He doesn't go hokey-toe, but you can see it on his face.
Does he not?
You could almost see it written on his face, the signature hokey-toe face.
God damn it! It's gonna make me think of a fucking joke on the spot. Exactly. You know what? I am not a jokester. Can I, like, roll something to aid me along in being like, oh yeah, joke? Fuck.
Roll manip expression.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh, I love it when you talk weird dice pools to me.
I should have known to have my fucking sheet up for this.
You should came fucking ready, Katie.
Should have came fucking ready. What was
I came with my sheet up.
See that? Bob knew.
Oh God, I wasn't ready. All right, let's see if I'll throw a willpower on this. I don't even give a fuck. I am not failing this.
Do it. Roll it.
I was checking to see what my shit was. I'm not sure either one of them is gonna pop for a joke, though. Alas.
Nope.
And for what it's worth, it will definitely be a joke. She is she likes Cora. She's not gonna be too fucking brutal. Jesus Christ.
If you had a boss though, you would have been
I can't botch now. Sidekick,
roll.
Sidekick. You're fucking me right now. Why don't you like me?
Oh no.
The worst time to do that.
1 hour later, all these rolls are going to come in.
Right. To the R20.
To the R20. Jesus Christ. 10. Boop. It's a shame those fucking specialties probably aren't gonna pop. They just don't suit for joke telling, but that's still 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 with the willpower.
Yeah, I mean, Cora has the big frilly hair, and she's a bit of a dit. She's even ditchier than you at times.
And she is. I mean, Charlotte loves it about her, but Yeah, sure. She will pull a joke out of her ass. Admittedly, it's Charlotte, so it's not so much like the I read this off the internet like haha joke, but yeah, she will produce a fucking joke about Cora and how bouncy, and I am sure something to do with what her hair looks like when she's boinging around.
Michelle does the patented. Do you know what I mean? The rich person laugh. The oh, do you know what I mean? The Jim Carrey thing. No, she does the polite Southern girl giggle. They all do.
Yep. She will spare a glance for Carves after the fact, like, that's right.
Carves actually, honestly, leans in, going, "Well, now you're getting it. Look at you, all grown up. Oh, even makes me so happy."
Still working on catching up to that child prodigy status.
Oh, you're miles off, Charlotte. Sorry, you're still too ditzy.
She
Pats her hand.
just plays the hands like, what you gonna do?
Then, Marcel will go, "I have a joke." They all turn like shocked Pikachu
God,
face.
yes. Oh my god, yes! Charlotte's so ready.
What is alcoholic, bitchy, and confused?
Oh dear.
Wildfire answers the Fianna, shakes his head. Runs, goes, "Oh." Anton McGraw shakes his head. Looks at Johanna.
She doesn't look like she even fucking knows. She just shrugs her shoulders like,
Looks at Charlotte.
It's the ain't confused that's getting me. Like the first two, well, I don't know that I would have been key to answer it, but I could have had a guess. Alcoholic, bitchy, and confused. She finally heaves a shrug. She gives up.
Guru. We are often alcoholics. We are often very bitchy. And 90% of the time we are confused. That was the joke.
that was the joke one where Yolanda's like,
Yeah, Charlotte just looks
Yeah,
kind of puzzled for a moment. It's like, I'm not even that.
You can just see you can see probably the same from all the other the kinfolk there.
that was the joke. That's the part that's
Even there's a good healthy chuckle. Marcel just looks like, do you know that Thor gif where he does his little cheesy smile like the
I'm
Yeah.
funny.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, once it starts, the giggling will start because it initially was like, okay, that was pretty fucking good. I'm not even mad. People start chuckling, people start snickering, Charlotte starts giggling. It's fucking God damn it. Yeah. Nope, Marcel wins. I can't compete.
And eventually, dessert will come out, and it is blueberry cheesecake with shortbread for the biscuit underneath.
Holy shit.
It's fucking lovely.
This fucking lovely. Charlotte treasures it because cheesecake. Homemade cheesecake.
And eventually, some of the kinfolk, You get the impression is the Gru are talking Gru business, and the kinfolk, well, they can be engaged, but they, they're having that southern chat, it's that type of thing. So Johanna, I'm going to give you opportunities to talk to people before I get to Carl and Charlotte.
She at this point will look back to Wildfire, who was the first one to captivate her with knife talk.
Slowly eating the cheesecake in front of you.
Yeah. So I hear that your reputation as a Philodox has a way of preceding you.
Really?
Out of all of the ones that manage most cases, you are known to be the most direct.
Well, it's good that the gossips are at least telling the truth for a change.
I find this admirable.
Do you look over? You'd swear his eyes are like slits sometimes in the firelight. Like there's candles and the fluorescent lighting. You swear there's slits at times. It's weird.
That is weird, but she's also seen what Forgotten Earth looks like in the Umbra, so that was a good primer for just weird shit about people's appearances. He's not secreting oil at this point, so it's not that off-putting.
You get the impression as you are looking like you've got this sort of draconic sort of attention. That he's like, staring at you.
Fucking Bilbo's staring at Smaug right now. Thought I wouldn't pull out the Hobbit jokes, but I did. I am not a fan of driving away from the point, especially when dealing with matters of law and order.
Are you?
People have a way of wanting to maneuver, make the situation about them.
Is that why you question the tribe's loyalty to another tribe, then? He takes a bite of the cheesecake, studying you properly. You prefer your method, or you prefer theirs?
I just saw things in simpler terms.
It is reasonable to think that for Cleith. But simple terms are simple terms, aren't they not? You see, lean forward a bit. There are being simple, and then there is being direct. Do you understand?
I think so.
Nods. Again, a Cleith answer. To be expected. Nothing to peg you down with. He holds out one hand. Simple. Asking simple questions and expecting simple responses. Direct. Holds out the fist. Asking the right questions the right way to get the right answer with the right response, whether regardless of pain. But not creating so much pain that it burns others. Only burns the person you're asking. That is the difference.
She looks captivated.
And you have to have a certain penchant for making sure that the burn doesn't stay spreading. Now, I've heard that you are good at knifing people in close quarters or slitting a throat while climbing over a ship deck. What I've not heard is the other things that people don't want to talk about. That's what I'm interested in hearing from you. But that's not the topic for dinner. He takes a bite of the cheesecake very slowly. Again, that's kind of draconic lean back as he's studying you.
Perhaps later then.
Perhaps later in a time when you... In a time that I expect to see it.
She nods.
You see. I'm going to lean forward, because the kinfolk are a good bit away. Murdering someone with a knife to the throat is easy. It's simple. Keeping them alive is direct. And you have not kept someone alive, I can tell. It's the way your hands shake. It's the way your eyes widen. But that is fine, you're a Cleith. Most of us shook the first couple of times. I heard you participated in an interrogation with a Spiral not too long ago with the Wardens of Shadow and Dawn. Did your hand shake?
After a while.
Or perhaps when you were holding the blade the first time?
I lost control of the situation when his brain started melting.
That's because you chose to allow his brain to be melted. You had not gotten the information you needed.
Mhm.
You see, when I hold an interrogation, I do not give permission to do anything outside of my control. Because then you have given up the power over your subject, we'll say. And however, when you're dealing with servants of the worm who are experienced in preparing themselves for an interrogation, it is hard to dispense justice the correct way. These fools and lackeys you bring in who will beg for their lives, they're easy. For you give them an illusion of what they want. Life. If they know you're going to kill them, then why would they tell you anything? Then it just defeats the purpose and half the fun. But I can see it in you, little Fury. You're still alive. Gives her a smile and pats her hand.
I am.
Indeed. Let's hope you cannot. I wouldn't say lose it. I would say the next time you see an interrogation that I bring you on, I hope the next time you don't shake. At least for 2 minutes. I'll count. But, leans back. You'd want to clear that with your alpha, after all. Gives a smile. She does like to keep people on a nice, tight little leash. I'm sure she's probably listening and then now fretting.
She understands that I need latitude.
I see. And you thought you could come to me for latitude? Interesting. Very well. We will see what latitude you have. Don't wear your mask. Not until you have earned the right to. when you're interrogating the people I've chosen you for.
Yes, right.
He gives a smile and gives her the pat. Now enjoy your cake. So often you don't get blueberry in these things. Starts to like literally go like, "Ooh," do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like Yolana is enjoying it because this is that's a lovely cheesecake. It's so good, but also it's like being enhanced by the murder boner somehow.
What
Like
would
who
be eerie,
knew that this would go together?
what would be eerie for Johanna is he does not blink once when he's talking to about it. Completely cold. That's probably eerie for someone like her. There is no emotion.
Yeah, especially considering Yolana's like the exact opposite. She just runs hot during all the shit.
He is cold as ice. But he just, gives her a little pat, and seems quite content with himself. And so Charlotte
Yes.
drinks on the veranda.
I imagine it's quite the view.
Oh, it is. It's over the city of Duluth itself, and the brandy is lovely.
Well, gotta love good brandy.
It is. It's fancy. It tastes weird on your lips. Like, whoa.
Woo.
If you make that noise, it's an even better reaction. Just whoo.
I'm not gonna lie, there's probably like that initial sip in the Gladstone, like, holy shit. Yet again, one of those like, man, this is worth more than both of my kidneys combined.
He leans down on one of the big fold out deck chairs. So Charlotte, you seem to have taken what our little discussion previously tenfold. Look at you. New scowl on your face, new posture, new eyes. My. Who knew all it took was a little reminder?
I wouldn't have gotten very far without a very steep learning curve.
Oh, I think you would have gotten even further if you had, but then again, I am not saying this is a bad thing. Matter of fact, I like it. The last person that was here from your pack, talked to me about the things he wanted. Made certain hints that you would never agree to.
No? She'll be
Well,
folding herself down, finding, another seat there, so she can be in polite
don't.
conversation status.
Let's not play coy with each other here, Charlotte. We both know what Brad was doing for you coming here. I knew. You don't be in the game long enough as long as I have and not know when they're sending a spy. Innocent little children of God. It's always the children of God. You notice that? They always like to think they can worm their way in with love and kindness, then just gently whisper in your ear to gear the right way forward. They are devious little things. That's why I probably enjoy them. I enjoy watching them scheme.
Must have a good success rate or they wouldn't still be doing it.
Oh, they are probably some of the best manipulators in this entire nation, Charlotte, and don't you forget it. Very good at what they do. Very good. I imagine that's why you used him. Shame about what happened, though. I quite like the boy. Had a lot of potential to do a lot of interesting things.
I was very fond of Brad.
Oh, I bet you were. Now, the funny thing is, now I look at you and I looked at your previous alpha, and you could put each other side by side. In fact, I see the mirrored image right now of us standing there. Both heavily scarred. But yet you stand. She slouched. It's interesting, don't you think?
She tips the head thoughtfully. Suppose it is.
You suppose. Don't tell me you're giving the same old answers you always give.
No. No, I hadn't. Just hadn't thought to make that particular comparison.
Oh, honey. People are going to be making that comparison now to the day you either retire or go into the earth.
Lovely. There's like that little sip, like, I need another sip of this, Jesus Christ. Because the reminder
Oh, what's wrong?
stings.
Does it offend you that you're being compared to someone who is dragged so low, and instead you're being compared to so high? Does that bother you that you are doing well?
But I'm doing well. No, of course not.
Oh, but it bothers you that you was brought up.
Perhaps it's how short a time I've been aware. I'm used to letting dead things stay buried.
Oh, things around here never stay buried, honey. You of all people should know that.
I should.
After all, that same vindictiveness you did have for me. So fiery. And now you sit in my house, sharing my brandy, out of my porch.
But the question, I suppose, is whether I've changed that much. Or
I know who you work for, Charlotte. I'm not a fool.
why invite me into your home?
Why indeed? Gives her like mischievous smile. Why indeed? Why did I invite Brad in? Surely my gut instinct would be to throw him out. Equip my clave like our dear Wormfo and shove it up into the air and make sure that the whole world could see I'm a bright torch lantern of hypocrisy.
I can't imagine you found a Clee that's that threatening.
I find everyone threatening. That's how you make it in this world. You always know what they're capable of, even if they're most capable of the most heinous thing. You make sure you know it, and you start adding to the reasons of why they would do it. If those reasons make sense, well, then you have a problem. But if they don't, well, then there you go. You got time. Like your friend in there. Oh, I see her in her new dress, makeup, hair. Oh, I see it all. Bet she never told you she dressed like that before, did she?
It doesn't seem to be her preferred mode of dress. I didn't
Oh, but
think
she's
she was
done it.
incapable.
But she's done it before, you see. You can tell by the way she holds it, the way it fits on her body. She's not tugging at herself. You see, I saw Alice trying to think about a dress, and she tugged at herself so unfamiliarly. You could tell she had never worn one properly before, but that girl in there, she's worn one. It's an interesting thing you find out about people.
And she just kind of nods, because fair enough, it's not something she'd really dedicated any thought to. She gets the point.
You see, if you're going to share your head with someone, you gotta know. That's the first rule.
How many rules are there?
You of all people should know that by now.
Innumerable?
If that's what you think.
She offers a shrug. It was a guess.
You see, Charlotte, you look the part, but you can't speak it quite yet.
Learning more every day.
No, you're not. Smiles, takes a sip of his drink.
Am I not?
No.
Like kind of lightly smiles back because this is very engaging.
No, you're not learning enough. Not quick enough, anyway. Still thinking with that same mentality.
What mentality's that?
Like you think the peace is actually going to make a difference. The innocence of it. I can see it. You actually think that the peace you achieve is going to be the peace that'll last.
It'll
Now,
last forever.
of course, the classic response. But you think that the peace that you're going to provide will be the settling matter. You think that they're not going to find a different way. While it may not last forever, yes, but you think it'll last long enough to get you what you need. There's innocence behind that. You see, peace is a very tenuous thing. It depends on what you apply it with. While it may not last, you can make it adjustable, malleable. That is the trick you've not learned yet.
Is that gaining peace or gaining control?
Depends on what your viewpoint is. In a way, peace is control. Your control. You don't want those two steps going to war now, do you? So you apply the control that is needed to make sure that does not happen.
True, but control held by one person's hand. As soon as that person is gone, it fades with them.
Very interesting perspective. You seem to be the main peacemaker among these people. What's going to happen when you, points? That scar gets just a little bit deeper.
I'll have to make sure I have something more lasting by then, won't I?
Depends. And judging by the tone of your voice, you haven't thought about that.
She thoughtfully kind of licks her teeth because, let's be fair, she doesn't think about dying, but I mean, I'm sure the expression betrays her. She's thought about stepping out of the limelight because she eventually wants to.
You see, Charlotte, you'll pull her in and sit down beside her on the deck chair and turn her so as they're watching the people in the room. You think they're after you're gone. That Black Fury's really gonna curb what she's after. And she's got no one to keep her in line no more. You really think that's gonna work? You really think the Fianna is gonna play ball and not change? The second he realizes that he doesn't have you making sure that he turns the right way, do you think that Melanthe's actually gonna step out of her box without you?
And you have some method to ensure these things continue?
Of course. You see, when I go, undoubtedly I will. They'll all keep doing what I want and what I ask and what I say, and they'll never realize it. Because I don't have to yell or stomp my feet. Not anymore. I just give them what they think they want. But in reality, it's what I want, and what you want. And they'll keep charging and pushing and charging and pushing to get what they want.
And how long did that take?
leans in and whispers in her ear, and that southern, it literally feels like the devil is whispering in your ear as he goes and says, "I'm going to move up close to the mic and everything, so get ready."
Oh god. Ugh.
Not as long as you think with your usual connotations for peace.
And she tips the head not to get away from him, but because she wants to look at him. Like, she wants to see the expression. She's trying to get a better read on what he's saying. But Jesus, like, it's that thing where I do want to turn and get a look at you. But she definitely is trying not to ease back so far that it looks like she's recoiling.
Oh no, he doesn't. He keeps you right looking out at everybody.
Like, takes a hold of her to do it.
Yep, holding one of your hands.
I mean, you'll see, like, that kind of telltale little, like, tension in the jaw. Just for a second. She's like, okay, no, I got this. I can do this. And what are you suggesting? Besides just making what I want what they want.
Oh, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you how to run your pack. That would be unfair. And that'll be what you're wanting me to tell you. So you could then go, well, Cows wants me to do this, so I'm going to make sure that I align it the right way so I'm not doing what Cows wants. Ha ha, I'm a genius.
Is that how I sound?
Oh, yes. You sounded like that from the moment I've met you. After all, and the grip tightens quite eerily. I know what you did to my wife.
Do I need to roll to keep a straight face?
If you're trying to.
Oh, yeah. She hasn't admitted to anything yet. She's not starting now. What do I need to be rolling?
Manip subterfuge difficulty 8. I'm going to put this out. And no, you cannot spend willpower.
Of course not. Oh, hey, look. The Dice Stream woke up. Thanks, Dice Stream. Thanks, Dice Stream!
That's a fail.
That would have been 3 successes. Ugh. I don't think even my specialty can save me right now.
No, it can't. I
No, it
checked.
can't. Yeah, again, in that case, I mean, it's a fail. There's tension. Again, the jaw tightens. That little flex, like, in the corner of the jaw and the neck.
Look at that. I'm not mad, child, you see.
She flicks a glance aside because she doesn't believe that for a second. And she's looking. She wants to see. Again, a lot of her shit is based off of reading people, and she can't do that if she's not looking at him.
Oh no, you stay looking the fuck out. It's odd. You know what I mean? You can just hear the whisper of his voice. Unless you try to like physically turn yourself, like actually properly put effort in.
She's trying to turn her head and like look at him when he says, "I'm not mad."
He's like, you turn and you see his cheek is beside yours. That sort of thing. It's like you're looking out together.
Yeah, he's not even looking straight at her, is he?
Nope.
She will just ease back to how she was sitting because he's not making this easy. And she can't very well like get up and go sit to face him. That would be that'd be showing a point of weakness. Can't do it.
I'm not gonna ask you why. No, no, no. You'd never tell me. Not willingly, at least.
She does pull in a breath, and I mean, it's pretty clear that he's got her pegged for this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Kind of. Pretty much. You haven't admitted to it, but it's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
I assume she knows that she didn't keep her shit straight.
Yeah.
And yeah, she goes back to facing forward, and man, this could end badly if his temper goes out, but no, she goes back to looking into the room, especially with Michelle in there.
See, look at that. Didn't even apologize. Cold.
She
Didn't
wasn't
even.
supposed to.
Oh, I know. They never are they?
Nothing was ever meant to happen to her, Cars.
Oh, I know. They never are, though, are they? They're never meant to happen. Kinfolk are never meant to be hurt, are they? But they end up being hurt. It's just the way of the job sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you. She's flat. I mean, she's watching Michelle, seeing her flit around and smile and flutter and do how she do, and yeah, she's doing her best to suppress any signs of guilt, but she can't help it. It's good to see her finally and to see that she's okay.
Now you see, I could have ripped your very skin from your body, and your little pack wouldn't have known what the fuck happened. I could have done a lot of horrific things to you, to your family, to everyone you hold dear. But then again, I would be no better than Ajax Trimbenson, would I? Or Juno, or all these people you try to hold yourself more than. And funny. Ajax Trimbenson was the most violent. Ajax Trimbenson did go for your kin. And your family. Even your little Maria's father murdered an entire family. Kin and everybody. Even I heard your father helped him.
Again, it's that thing where you can see the knee jerk like beginning muscle twitches because she wants to turn and look.
But not dear old little cows, no. No. No, we're gonna keep this little secret between you and me. Because I can't prove anything. Not fully. And let's be real. I know who you're friends with. I know who drags you around like a collar on a chain and puts a knife to your head when he doesn't get his way.
At which point, Charlotte's reflecting on this. She can't help it. She's not some fucking immaculate, unfeeling being. And it's one of those things where it's like, collar and chain is all well and good as a metaphor, but he hasn't called on her. And she's starting to wonder why.
Doing his work for his little ravens. It's funny being a tool for somebody else. It's funny being bait. They say it's the most appealing. And oh boy, Charlotte. Didn't you succeed? You almost got me. Going for the wife, that was a nice touch.
never attack your wife.
Oh no. He stands up and looks over. Oh no. But you, my budding dearie of ill chaos, I know what your use is. And you're doing a fine job. I know why he picked you. You're the perfect bait for somebody like me. Somebody like Johanna. Somebody like that Alistair McDuncan. Somebody like Juno. Draw people in. Whether you know it or not. And make sure we make those mistakes. We make sure we make those oaths and swear and do whatever. And that way he can observe and do his deeds through you without ever having to call. The perfect little puppet. And you don't even know it.
Is it doing his work if it would be doing... Pardon. Is it doing his work? It's doing precisely as I'd do.
That's the question you gotta ask yourself, isn't it? And remember what I just told you.
Which part?
When you step out of the shadows and make sure that the people do what they think they're wanting, but in reality it's serving all the things you need by giving them the illusion of them doing their own work. Then you can truly step away and not have to lift a single finger. So you're all fighting for the same thing.
Does it have to be an illusion?
If that's what you want to live with yourself with, then go ahead.
No, I mean, this isn't the big wide-eyed Cleith. This is her earnestly asking.
If you want it to be, then be it. If you don't, then don't. But I would rather know if someone's trying to put a chain around my neck. But if you're okay with being manipulated, then that's fine, Charlotte.
Not living
You
in
always
illusions of
were,
anyone.
in some kind of way.
Not chaining anyone to anything.
Oh, no, you're not doing the chaining, my dear girl. He sits back down again. You're making sure the line gets extended.
What do you mean?
Look who's bringing the Trimbinsons back into the fold. Making sure they get all the right alliances with your marriage. Look who's making all the nice friends. Even got the Black Furies playing ball now. All Dark and Gallows has to do is just sit back and watch his cuckoo chirp and chirp. Doesn't even have to tell you to go and run into it.
There's obviously a point of disconnect.
Has his little boys make sure that you're doing your right thing, pumping you the right way, guiding you the right way, getting you angry so you go out and do your deeds. It's all part of the crow's game. Make sure that they stay the way they are. Even if the peace does come the right way. Because they're scared of what's coming.
what's coming.
Oh, something you're not ready for.
And how does one be ready?
Not have any strings. That you can see. Has this little mysterious wink.
Don't we all have strings?
That you can see. Or more importantly, everyone else can see. And you, my dear, you are like a Pinocchio. Dancing around because you got no strings on you.
Suppose you'll tell me any more about what's coming?
No. Not yet, anyway. Why would I tell you everything?
Did a septoid threat?
Who knows?
Does it have the potential to be?
Who knows?
Apparently you do.
Oh, I know a lot more about that. After all, I know what some of your people, well, unfortunately, she is gone from this world, were getting up to one night. And I do know there is somebody talking.
Okay.
Oh, indeed. Talking to people they shouldn't be talking to. I'm considering what they done. Ooh. And what's coming? Almost like I've been preparing you for it. You know, at first I thought it was you. Hence the reason why you went for Michelle, but it's not you.
Talking to who?
Hence the reason you're not sweating.
Just kind of shakes her head a little bit, like, nope.
Pats her shoulder. Talking to things they shouldn't be talking to. And will grew blood on their hands.
Would you indulge me in a naive question?
I've been indulging you for a while on many naive questions. I am about to stop, Charlotte. Gives her a very gentle smile.
She kind of smirks at that because, fuck it. If you're right, saying that we all want the same thing and they're just willing to go to different lengths to get it, why is there a line down the middle?
You want us all to come together. Come
She
together.
actually shakes her head and shrugs. I don't expect that. Oh.
Then what do you want?
I want to know where the line came from.
Which line?
The one splitting two of the most capable people on this set?
Oh, yes, no. Pats her on the good side of her cheek. Don't give me that.
Is it untrue?
Don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that. That is like saying, why can't the water play nice with the cliffside? Why can't the lion play nice with the tiger? Why can't another predator play nice with another predator? Let's be real here, honey. As it gets like, whoa, Jesus, you know what I mean?
Oh, Jesus. Not again.
Let's be real here. When did you ever play nice with another predator who came into your lawn?
There's a lot of predators.
When did you ever play nice with another predator that came into your lawn? Don't fandangle it. Don't tweak it. Don't go, oh, well, there's a lot of predators, so I'm just going to dodge that question entirely.
When they weren't what's the word? When they weren't preying on things that I cared about.
Oh, there you go. There's your fucking line. Same as yours. So, take your morality, Charlotte, and wake the fuck up. That's my advice to you, honey. Wake up. Because it would be a shame. You're looking so fierce. Almost there. Proud of you. Gives her hand a very, actually, genuine squeeze. And he squeezes her shoulder and everything. It's very oddly fatherly.
I got a peony to see how earnest that is. I have to.
You may try.
I will try. I got things one time, but I always have to try.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Jesus Christ. No, I think even 1, 2, 3, 4, even if it pops, it breaks even.
Mm-hmm. He's just too good.
Yeah, it takes her aback a bit. It's odd getting fatherly gestures from someone who, let's face it, you've outright opposed. Someone who's been sitting here accusing you, even pointed out that he could have straight killed you. It's a little weird, a little unsettling, one might say. I mean, especially when she flicks around to try to catch it, to try to see it, and she can't. How do you do that?
Do what?
You ever take the mask off?
How'd you know I haven't? Maybe you're just assuming
That's
there
the
is
part
one.
that makes me uncomfortable.
Maybe you're just assuming there is one. You seem to assume a lot about people. Maybe I've been honest with you the whole time. But you'll never believe me, will you?
Just because I'm not sure doesn't mean I don't believe.
Oh, don't
I
you
have an
give me that.
obnoxious tendency of believing
Don't you
whatever I
give me.
damn well please.
Don't you give me that, Philodox. Don't you give me that. Let's be real here. You've never believed a word I said for a long, long time. How'd you know How'd you know there is a mask? Maybe you're finally asking the right question. Boops her on the nose.
Seen past it once.
Hmm.
It's a very, very good mask. It's hard to tell if you're wearing it at all.
Did you really see past her, or did you assume you did? Did you assume that, oh God, I've cracked the code? Well, there's no code need cracking. Oh God, I finally got him. Got what?
There's no getting. There's no cracking.
Oh.
If I didn't
There's
trust my
always...
senses, what kind of Philodox would I be?
You haven't trusted your senses since you were a Cleith. You haven't trusted your senses since you let Juno Trimminson crawl up your empathetic heart and let her stab her right in the proverbial center point. Haven't you? You have always doubted yourself after that, and you shouldn't have. That girl... she killed you inside. Nobody ever went to check. I'm sure your husband, gentle as he is, does his best. But I imagine he's the first person to ever crack. Right there. Point. He actually does. He pokes Charlotte's chest. Gets right past that insecurity that you tear yourself up over.
And she finally relents and looking back through the window because Jesus Christ. He's going for the fucking throat right now. And you know what? There's a reason she looks at faces, and maybe if she turns hers that way, it'll help a little bit to feel a little more secure in her expression. Is it that I wear it on my sleeve?
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, she likes the cheesecake anyway. Look at that sitting there chatting to wildfire. Oh, I can see it now. Pretty soon she'll be burning someone alive. Did you ever ask yourself the question of why Alice lied to you this whole time? Did you ever ask yourself any of these questions? Or are you too afraid to look at the doubt again?
Why did she then?
Why did
look
she?
at him.
Why did she? She wanted something that you couldn't give her, as much as she clinged on. As much as she held you, loved you, you could never give her what she truly wanted. It's sad. Heartbreaking in a way.
Yep, she is like the internal monologue keeps trying to become the external monologue, and she keeps fighting it back like, no, we're not going to give that away. No, no.
And in the end, she took what she needed and did some horrific things. Not that I know the full extent, but I know someone who's hiding the dark things they've done and justify themselves of it. They wear it like skin. Looks over with, oh, Katie. The fucking smile. I'm gonna put that to the point. The smile.
Yep. I'm gonna just roll this again.
Let me get the appropriate thing, which might affect your roll, because like even Charlotte might realize there's no point even trying to lie at this point.
It's not even lying. It's just like, I'm an adult. I can keep a straight face. Ugh.
Here you go. Let me just get it right. Bear with me now.
Bearing away. Bearing my fucking soul, apparently.
There you go in the side chat.
Jesus, let's see. The flashing text kind of ruined it.
But you know, it's that same expression. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he knows. May not know everything, but he knows enough.
Yep. I'm still gonna roll. You shut up. Ugh.
What are you rolling?
It's just to not show the fuck on her face. Like, it's literally just to straight face it. She's not trying to lie to him. She's just trying to keep it straight.
Why are you standing there like you're just trying? Are you afraid that I'll judge you if you start reacting? Do you think the stonewall approach with the Leaf Oakson is gonna win?
No.
Or is that for yourself, I wonder? Is that your armor? Desperately clinging on to yourself because now you'll start thinking, oh, he knows. Picking away. Tick, tick, tick.
There's like a moment there where she kind of does a little bit of that, like, you can see the little geometric signs float around her head. What did she want then? He just looks over.
You know the answer, don't you? You just want to hear it from my mouth, so make it easier on yourself.
Oh.
So you don't have to admit it.
No, if the answer was that easy, probably would have tried to give it to her.
Oh, don't lie. You never were very good.
Better than I used to be.
I've
But
watched
no.
you since you were a little Cleith, paddling around, standing on your soapbox. You know the answer.
Finally sits back. Like, there's been sitting upright, like tensely upright, there's been sitting forward, but no, she finally waxes enough to sit back. Maybe I doubt my own answer.
Oh, you do. Oh, you do.
And what would you have done?
That's like asking what the wind would have done when a hurricane came. That's like asking someone, oh, well, you weren't there. What would you have done?
No. No, this isn't
No, it
a
is.
game.
It is. Is again taking it away from you and giving it to someone else so they can tell you the right thing so you can do the right thing.
Is it a bad thing to want answers?
It's a bad thing to want someone else to give them to you. Like a little paper mache. When the truth is, Alice would have never have gotten to where she was if she was mine. But I'm not you. And you're not me. No matter how much you think you act like me. Or how much people tell you act like me.
I don't know. I don't think for a moment. This conversation alone has made it pretty abundantly clear.
You not like it?
Didn't say that.
Then again, I've seen into your dreams.
That gets him an odd little look like, wait, what?
Just gives a smile. Hers too.
Have you?
Oh, you can see into many different people's dreams. You just have to know what they look like.
What's mine look like?
Doubt. Hope. Pain.
What was the last one? Sorry?
Pain.
Hmm.
And more doubt.
I'd like to think that hope would have cropped up at least as many times as doubt did.
Oh, it did. You just drowned it out. Now, it is frightfully cold. Just standing up.
Yep, she just concedes that she has lost this conversation, and yeah, well, much the same, pull herself up.
Just strides back inside. How you feeling there, Charlotte? Buddy, pal, friend?
Fucking shook.
And yes, the dinner goes on, and eventually you guys are, it is time to leave, and it's all polite and, hoodoo and all that. And you were left standing outside the calf's estate.
That went well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Hey, remember that talk we had one time about how sometimes I gotta go off and do my own thing, but I'll let you know I'm okay?
Yeah.
I think some more of that's gonna be happening. Not me going off to run around in the woods. You can call me anytime during then, but I think soon I might be up to some actual business.
She just kind of, I mean, let's face it, she's off center. So she just kind of nods as they're heading towards the car. Just keep me in the loop.
I'll give you a report every time. I just don't think you want to be listening when I do it.
Probably right. Let's get you back to Sept. I'm going home.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Okay.
And yeah, she just gets in the car, and I mean, she's very introspective at the moment. And yeah, it just seems kind of lost in thought. I mean, she'll keep answering. She's responsive. She just very thoughtful as she, drives her back. Then yeah, it's not until eventually she gets out of the car when she's heading back to Felix. Finally reaches up and kind of rubs the scar.
Do you want to call it
Mustache is
there?
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun.